Hello guys, so this is going to be my spoiler review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. If you don't want any spoilers, then please don't watch this one. I did a video at 4 o'clock earlier today, 4 p.m, which was a spoiler-free review of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. So if you would like to go ahead and watch that one, if you don't want spoilers, then please go ahead and watch that one. If you don't mind spoilers, here we are. This is going to be the spoiler review. Okay, so let's get started. So in the spoiler-free review I did earlier, I spoke about the venue, the overall plot without giving anything away, the costumes, the lighting, the stage directions, the way the stage is set, props, and a little bit about characters. That's what I spoke about in my spoiler-free review. I said this in my spoiler-free review earlier, I don't know when it will be, but I will be doing a in-depth character analysis video of every single character that was featured in this play. And I'm also going to be doing Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them review. I also asked this in my spoiler-free review. I would like to know, do you want me to do the same thing, a spoiler-free Fantastic Beasts and a spoiler Fantastic Beasts, or do you want me to just go ahead and do a spoiler review? I'd like to know, I'd love to know your opinion. Anyway, that said, let's get on with the review. So this is in no particular order. I'm just going to say things as I wrote them down, so it might be a bit choppy, but let's see how we get on. So here I have written down characters more in depth. Now, like I said, in my spoiler-free review, I spoke a little bit about the characters. I stated that I think every actor that was in this play was superb. I really think every actor was brilliantly chosen for this. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the characters now, but I'm not going to go too in-depth because I want to do that for my in-depth character analysis. Let's start with Harry quickly. Jamie Parker played Harry superb. There was some things Harry did, some things Harry said that I thought were a little bit out of character. The response that you get is people change because this is set 19 years later. That is absolutely correct. People do change as they age, but people also keep some of the same characteristics as well. And I think the Harry and Albus relationship was really well done. But I also think Harry was a little harsh. I think, this is my personal opinion by the way, all of this is my personal opinions. I think Harry screaming at Albus, "I wish you weren't my son," that was done in anger. We all say things in anger, but I think that is one thing Harry would never have said because of how he was treated. You know, he didn't have parents, and I think that's one thing Harry wouldn't have said. We're not perfect, we all have our flaws, but personally, I think that line was so out of character. I was so shocked when I read it. Overall, I think Harry was done well, but I think there was just certain little bits that I was like, whoa, hold up, wait a minute. And I will discuss that more in my character analysis. We go on to Ron. Paul Thornley plays Ron in this. Ron, I loved in the play. When I was reading the screenplay, because I read the screenplay first, which I shouldn't have done, there were some Ron lines and some things Ron did, and I thought, he's kind of just being used as the comic relief in a way, and I was not happy with Ron's character when reading the screenplay. However, after seeing it on stage, the comedy, you don't understand. If you've just read the screenplay, the comedy does not come through. It does not translate well at all in written form. I was reading it and there was a couple of bits that I was just like, what is this? But then seeing it on stage is completely different, and Ron is one of those things. Let's quickly go on to Hermione, Noma. Now, I kind of mentioned this in my spoiler-free review. I think Noma was superb as Hermione, considering a lot of the criticism that she's had to go through, and she's been under fire a lot, particularly the race issue, and we all have opinions about this race thing. I think Noma did a fantastic job as Hermione. Again, like with Harry and Ron, there were a couple of Hermione things that felt a little bit out of character, just the way she was written, like I said. She felt a little bit too snobby and superior for me at some points. Now, Hermione as a child was very snobby and snooty and superior at some points, but as Hermione, as her character developed as she got older, I think those things, I mean, in Philosopher's Stone, the quote that she says sums it up really, in the chess scene where she says, "Books and cleverness, there are more important things like friendship and bravery," and her character really does develop, and I think as the play, they brought her back to her childlike state in some ways. There was a scene where she asks Harry if he wants a, what is it? Is it mint or if he wants a sweet? And they have a discussion about this, and it's, quite frankly, there's no point it being there, to be honest. I think it was there for comic relief, but there was some Hermione things that I thought were a little bit out of character. And again, we've got the old favourite, everybody changes as they grow up. Yes, they do. But you'd expect people to mature as they grow up. And in some ways, Hermione sort of stepped back, if you know what I mean, as she reverted back into how she was as a child at some points throughout the play. We have people like Draco. Alex Price played Draco. Absolutely fabulous. I think Draco was one of the most in character for me, I really think. And then we have all the old favourites, but let's talk about the new ones for a little bit. So we have Albus Potter, who I enjoyed. I didn't really connect with him. And then we go on to Scorpius Malfoy, who I adored. I really did. I said this a bit again in my spoiler-free review. I read the screenplay first, so when I was reading Scorpius, I had my own perception in my mind, my own images, and Scorpius, when I went to see the play, was nothing like I imagined, but that was a good way. It was so good. I couldn't have imagined how good he was. It was amazing. He's a little quirky, he's a little crazy. I say a little quirky, he's a lot quirky. He's very, I was going to say antisocial, but that's not true. It's awkward. There we go. Like, really socially awkward. And I think that's perfect, especially for Draco Malfoy's son. Scorpius had to go through a lot. I mean, Astoria, his mother, died. There's this plot point, and I'm not sure how I feel about it, that Scorpius is the son of Voldemort, the secret son of Voldemort. It entails a time turner, and we'll talk about time travel in a minute, and all this kind of stuff. I'm not sure I like that plot point about Scorpius maybe being Voldemort's son. I'm not sure it really added anything to it, but it certainly made Scorpius the person he is. And in that respect, I understand why they did it. The next thing I wrote, I loved the little cameos from Harry Potter people we have seen before. So I'm not talking about main cast like Harry, Ginny, Draco, other people. I'm talking about the cameos. So we have the Trolley Witch. Stop right there. We just need a moment's silence for this. The Trolley Witch scene. I have no words. I didn't like it, if I'm being honest. I didn't like it. So the Trolley Witch throws these pumpkin pasty grenades. She turns into this clawy. I didn't like it. No. There's no chance in hell that you can convince me to like that part. That is probably one of the main parts in the play where I'm like, no. Read the screenplay, I was like, no. Went to see it, no. Although they did do it really well, I have to say, where the claws grow out of her hands. They did it really well on stage, yes, but I don't like it. Moaning Myrtle, fabulous, loved it. Cedric Diggory, let's talk about that later. Minerva McGonagall, liked it. Madam Hooch, see her for 10 seconds, but I liked it. Dumbledore, you see in the portrait, so cute, loved it. I loved Dumbledore and Harry's interactions, loved it. What else do we have? Severus Snape, hit and miss for me. I liked seeing Snape again, but this is nothing to do with the play. It's not the play's fault, but purely because of Alan Rickman. Alan Rickman is my Snape. No one else can play Snape, so it's got nothing to do with the actor. It's got nothing to do with that. Who else do we have that we saw? Voldemort, of course. Oh, God, how did I forget that? We see Voldemort. Liked it. I liked how they did the costume for Voldemort, because obviously Voldemort is so distinctive and he has this look. And when I was reading it again, I was like, how are they going to do this? But they really, really did. Umbridge we see again. Hater, but loved it. I think the woman playing Umbridge when I went to see it, spot on. Bane the Centaur. Is it Bane? I think it's Bane in this. Yes, it is. When I was reading it again, I was like, there's no way they're going to do a centaur. It's going to be crap, it's going to be a man in a horse costume. No, the centaur was fabulous. Dementors, fabulous, let me tell you. Okay, so I was in the balcony area. I had my binoculars. No, I had my binoculars. Looking down on the stage, I lifted my head up. There's a Dementor scene. There's music that's going insane. And I'm like, okay. I thought the Dementors were just going to be on the stage. So I was like, binoculars. Right, I need a breather, so I'm going to lift up. There was a frickin' Dementor right in front of my face. Oh my god, I died. There's a woman next to me, don't know who she is. I grabbed her and I was like, oh my god, there's a Dementor right in front of my face. Realistically, it wasn't. I had the binoculars on. The Dementors actually come down from the bloody ceiling onto the stage, and because I had my binoculars on, I just literally thought it was right in front of me, but it wasn't. But yeah. Let's talk about Cedric Diggory. No. Cedric becomes, through circumstances, I don't want to get too in depth, Cedric becomes a Death Eater and kills Neville Longbottom. I mean, no. I'm not cool with it. I'm sorry, but I'm not down with it. I don't like it. Okay, the poor kid was humiliated. That's really bad. But was he really humiliated that much to become a Death Eater? This is Cedric friggin' Diggory. The time turner I was iffy with. The fact that Hermione Granger, the brightest witch of her age, kept a time turner in a bookcase. Even McGonagall in that scene was like, I've had enough of your shit. Didn't like that, but the whole bookcase scene and how it was done, I loved. There's a bit I've missed. I wanted to quickly talk about the Sorting Hat. So when you read the screenplay and you read the Sorting Hat walked towards Albus, you're thinking, what? The Sorting Hat walked? Did it really? And I was like, what the hell is this? But then I went to see the play. The Sorting Hat is a person. And it's crazy and it sounds absolutely ridiculous, but it's amazing. It's so good. So let's go with the elephant in the room, shall we? And let's talk about Delphine Diggory. Okay, I loved Delphi as a character when I went to see the play. When I read the book, I didn't get her. I didn't see the point of her. I liked Delphi, right? And you know one of my favourite characters is Bellatrix Lestrange, right? I do like Bellatrix Lestrange for completely different reasons, which I may discuss in the future. Anyway, so we're going on. We're reading it. You know where this is going. Delphi is... Let me state this is a clear spoiler. You shouldn't be watching this video anyway if you don't want spoilers, but this is the biggest spoiler of the lot. Delphi is Voldemort and Bellatrix's secret love child. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's another one. I'm not going to say I hated it. I hated the idea. I didn't hate the idea. I wasn't opposed to the idea. The main reason I'm confused to hell about it is the fact that Bellatrix Lestrange would have been pregnant during the skirmish at Malfoy Manor, where she was torturing Hermione, where Luna and Ollivander was in the basement, all of this. It wasn't referenced in the books at all. Clearly wasn't referenced in the films. She would have just given birth just before the Battle of Hogwarts. Then she managed to kill my other favourite character, Nymphadora Tonks, but let's not go there. The timing couldn't be more strange. Excuse the pun. It doesn't make sense. I've said it doesn't make sense. So there's probably loads I need to talk about. What else have I put? I spoke a little bit about the way the stage is set and stage directions in my spoiler-free review. I loved the way they moved the staircases. I loved the way props were moved with all the waving of the suitcases and stuff. I loved all that. I loved that it snowed in Godric's Hollow. The lake scene. There is an actual mini lake on stage with water. And then they do like the projection. I hope you've watched the play. Please don't be watching this video if you haven't watched the play. I already feel like there's going to be people that haven't watched the play. But yeah, the water scene is like fabulous. The second task, the Triwizard Tournament at the lake. All the Dementor scenes scared the shit out of me, and I am 21 years old. But overall, regardless of all my uh, negatives, I did very much enjoy the play, and I feel very grateful that I got the opportunity to go and see it, because I know how many people are desperate to see this play, and I'm very lucky that I got to see it, and I appreciate that. It's going to Broadway in 2018, which is fabulous news for all the Americans out there. And I said this in my spoiler-free review, I would love to have a DVD of the play. And I also said in my spoiler-free review, because I want to make it clear, when I say a DVD of the play, I mean a literal DVD of the play. I do not mean a movie. There's been a rumour going around that there's going to be a movie of this play. In time of recording, that is not true at all. And I said this in the spoiler-free review, I do not think this will translate very well into a movie at all. If you're wondering why I haven't spoken about costumes very much, props, lighting, the more technical aspects, I did a lot of that in the spoiler-free review if you haven't watched that, just to make that clear. I thought the costumes, the props, everything was superb. I know there's things I've probably missed out. I'll have to do a review part 2. Yeah, but I'm going to leave it here because I can't actually think of anything else to say. But overall, like I said before, I did really enjoy the play, and I would watch it again given the chance. So anyway, keep the secrets. Uh, if you want to tell me anything about Cursed Child, if you want to ask me a question, if you want to discuss spoilers, do that now in the comments of this video. Please don't do that anywhere else on my channel. I want to keep the secrets, like I said. I'm purely doing this video for those of you who have seen the play or read the screenplay. So if you want to talk to me about Cursed Child, all I request is that you please do that in this particular video's comments box or in my personal inbox. But yeah, so that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all soon. I hope you've enjoyed this. I know it was a bit scattered because I get a bit excited, but yes. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon. Bye!